guys, it's Trish. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be putting together a simple elastic stretch bracelet. I'm going to use some Jesse James beads, some check glass, some glass beads, possibly. This is all possibly because we all know I fly by the seat of my pants. And I got some charms that are really nice for the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm going to make some bracelets and earrings and things like that to make available to some folks. So that's the charm, one of the charms, which I think are very, understated, but also it gives you something to kind of hold on to and have these troubled times. This is from, let's see, Beadboat, www.beadboat. Actually, it's Beadboat on Etsy, and they do have a website here that you can go to as well. So, it looks like they prefer you to use that, but they also have their Etsy site. So, beadboat1.net. So, that's what we're going to do here. So, let's get started. I'm also going to be using, for the main, of course, for the bracelet, is some Beadalon elasticity and 1 mm 0.039. This is my favorite for heavier beads. I use a lot of heavier beads because I do prefer Jesse James beads. I use a lot of natural stones as well, but you'll find me going to these a lot. So we're going to stretch our elasticity out first. And like I said, I'm going to kind of get an idea on what I want to do for the bracelet. I may end up using just the strand. I don't know. But we're going to give it a go here. But give your elastic a good stretch because you don't want it to stretch out once it's on the person's wrist. You want it to already be pre-stretched. It'll actually tie better for you if you stretch it out good before you use it. So don't be afraid to give it a good stretch. Okay, so first off, I'm going to cut the strand loose. Now this is Jesse James beads. These are ones that I did get at AC Moore before they closed. So these are more of a vintage type Jesse James bead that you may or may not find on their site. It just depends. But if they do not have this exact strand, I'm sure they will have something just as beautiful that would work just the same for this project. And as always, I'll leave the link down below for the Jesse James beads website, among other things. So let's pull this out of here, and this is an easy way to do it if you want to string everything the way it is. Personally, I think the silver ball in the middle for what I'm making here is a bit much, so I may pull that out. I love bling, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like it should be a little more streamlined. Okay, it's just a feeling I have, so but we'll leave those rondelles there in the center here. Let me move this just a smidge over this way so it's more toward the center of the screen. Let's see. And of course, you're always going to hear dog barks when you're on my videos. That's just how it is. So I think I want to put, I don't know. I think I'm going to take these out as well. And I'm going to put, I don't know if I want to hang that from the center. Probably. So we'll leave those rondelles there in the center for the charm. And I'm going to, okay, Gately, that's enough. Let's see, I should pull in some gray into it a little bit. Here in the center, between the rondelles. And I do like the black cubes as well. I don't know if that looks right. Let's try these, the rondelles in the center. There. And then I'm going to put, and that's what makes it nice. If you want to build right off the strand you have there, boom, bam, boom, you got it. If you don't, sometimes I just fly by the seat of my pants and, pull the strands apart and kind of put them back together the way I want them. That's the nice part about it, So we're going to put the rondelles on the end. I'm going to get some few spacers for here as well. I think we'll string this up. Actually, let's put some some gray on the end. Just put some gray on the end as well. We'll string this up, and then we'll see where we're kind of sitting after I put the spacers in it, and for lengthwise. And then I'll decide if I want to add more to it on either end or whatever I want to do. Let's see. I'm just going to use some plain silver daisy spacers, I think, here. Just grabbing them out of my drawers. Just regular old daisy spacers. So, and I already pre-stretched my cord, so I'm ready to go on that. So let's start by putting that on. I like to use a larger hole bead on the end of it, because that way then you can hide your knot inside. So I may end up stringing that on depending on the length, but we're just stringing these with spacers in between, just to give a little bit of metal in there. That always kind of brings a piece to life, I think. So that's what we have so far. And it's just simple stringing. I love these pearls. Champagne color pearls, really pretty. And oops, I want to put a spacer in between. I think I'm going to put two. Kind of change it up. Instead of just putting one in between each, we'll put two in between that one. Put our black bead on. Sorry, these keeps popping out of screen. And another daisy spacer, the champagne pearl. Another spacer. Let's do another two here. That's what I like putting them together sometimes, the daisy spacers, just to kind of add a little bit more presence to the metal. You can put 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever makes you happy. But I like to kind of vary them between doing just one, because that's so predictable. So I'm going to put the bead caps on now with these black beads. Okay, and we have metal here, so I don't really need to put another spacer. If you have metal, it's not necessary to put metal on metal. Of course you can. It's your project. You can do whatever you want. But I'm gonna move this over now. There we go. But I don't. I don't usually put spacer next to bead cap. But again, totally your project, guys. Get these spacers from underneath there. And let's see, we have a gray one. And a rondelle. And I'm gonna have to put a loop on my charm. I see that. And the black one. A rondelle. And let's put our little loop on our charm. I'm just gonna grab, I think it's like a 5mm 18 gauge. Those are the ones I really like to use. See, I have the little ones in here, especially for things like that. If I can use a thicker gauge and a smaller version of a jump ring for most things, I do. I just like the strength of it. I like the way it holds. I don't know why I got two, but just to show you. So that gives you the kind of estimate on the size. I believe those are 5mm. Let me get my gauge, just so I'm not fibbing to you guys. Let's see here. Yep, 5mm. I was right. So yeah, that's 18 gauge wire because it's a thicker gauge that they use for that. So my preference. Oops, tools are all over the place here. Let me grab my tweezer pliers and my flat nose pliers, or my chain nose pliers, excuse me. And we're just gonna put, and you're gonna go back. You know, when you open a jump ring, guys, I guess I did that kind of quick, but you see how I'm moving? You don't ever want to pull apart on it. You'll ruin your jump ring and you won't be able to ever get it right. So you always just want to rock your pliers, have two sets of pliers, and you're going to go forward to backward and backward to forward until you can get it to click. I prefer hearing the little click. There you go. That way you know it's nice and tight in there. It clicks together. So there you go. There's your jump ring on your charm. Okay, so let's string that on. Kind of get out of the picture again. Okay, so it looks like next we have another little rondelle. And right now, let's see, I'll do a measurement here, what we have. We have 4 inches at this point, guys. So here's our other rondelle. And then our black rondelle. Okay. And then a spacer or rondelle, then our gray bead. And then we're going to go daisy spacer. And I'm just following the pattern from the other side, guys. That's all I'm doing at this point. So everything is matching on both sides. So that gives you an idea here where I'm at. Okay. Okay. We have our daisy spacer, so now we need this bead, bead cone, bead cap. Excuse me. I guess this is more of a bead cone because of the shape of it. So, but they also look very pretty in pieces. They add a lot. And this is a large bead, so it's kind of showcasing it. We got that. And then these are so pretty, these little beads. Love them. That, and then we're going to do 2 daisy spacers because that's what we have right here. Together there. Come on. You know you want to. Okay. And we're up to speed. Daisy spacer. Black rondelle. Wait a minute. Where did this come from? Ooh, I'm out of sequence, guys. I bet you guys were like screaming, no, no, no. Take a couple beads on here. That's okay, it happens. Just gotta pay attention. Okay, so we needed to put our champagne pearl next. Glad I realized that. That could have went really bad. Okay, so we have the champagne pearl on. I still feel like I have, no I don't. I'm perfect. I'm perfect. Okay. I'm not perfect, but that's for sure. But so far the pattern is coming together correctly. Okay, and then we had that, and then we're going to do 2 more daisy spacers. And the speed, now we're right on track. Spacer, black rondelle next. Another spacer, our gray bead, and now we're going to do a measurement because that's all the beads I had laid out, which I think that came together really nice. Yeah, and we do have 8 inches, which would be perfect to fit around my wrist. But I feel like I want to put a larger whole bead on the end, like I said, to hide my knots. So there's that. I think I have some large whole beads in my drawer back here, my Jesse James beads. Oh, I have a lot, guys, so just bear with me here. Just give me a second. Let me find what I'm looking for. These are all large holes. I'm looking for... Here we go. I think this is going to have what I need in it. Oh, maybe not. Anyway, we'll go with that. I have lots of large hole beads. And that makes it difficult because we all like to choose from a variety of things as makers here, but this is one of the containers I have that has large hole bead in it. This is just like a silver round bead with a larger hole in it. That might work. There. I'm gonna just pull out my options here. Let's look in this. This is the Jack mix that I had some left from that at Halloween time. This was released from Jack Skellington. It was super, super, super cool. Ooh, that's pretty. That one. Maybe we'll just put him on the end to kind of put a little bit of space there for my knot. But you can see where that goes, and it's kind of sitting right up against the gray bead, and the gray bead will be here, and then the knot will hide inside of it. So that's the plan. So now comes knotting. So what I like to do, I string right on the roll of elasticity, and also I string like that when I use beading wire as well. So then I'm not wasting. So now I know I have this much. This is about, let's measure it here, about 3 inches on this end that I'm gonna have, maybe 4. Yeah, let's do 4. Let's do 4. Because I like to leave myself lots of room to tie. Yeah, let's do about 4, and we're gonna do about 4 inches on this side. That seems like a lot of waste, but I like to be able to tie my knots without having to struggle to grasp at it. And I still feel like this is less waste than I would do if I didn't string on the actual roll of elasticity. So what I'm doing here, as you could see, I stretched it a few more times. I like to stretch it out real good. I do this off and on throughout making a stretch bracelet. So it just, the product works better whenever it's good and stretched out, but you got to make sure that your cones stay straight on there when you're going to be knotting. So basically what I do is I take the bracelet, I cross it. This might be the hard way to do it, but this is how I do it, and I did it again, see? And then move my big cone. I cross it just like that, and then I take right over left, tight, keep that tight. I grab this and go left over right. Oops. Tight again, pull tight again, and then right over left again. That is my preferred method. It seems to hold best for me when I do that, and it ties so much nicer, guys, when it's all stretched out. So then what I usually will do, I'll take a little bit of GS Hypo Cement from Beading. This stuff is the best. And this is new, so we'll see how this comes out of here. But I just need tiniest of drops, and you can see that little tiny drop formed on the end there. And I'm gonna, before it drops off, I'm gonna put it right onto my knot. This has such a nice applicator to it. Put it right on my knot, and I'm gonna let it dry for a minute. So that's on there. So what you're gonna do, what I do then is I just take my trimmers and I trim about 1/8 of an inch above the cord, above the knot, excuse me. I trim the cord about 1/8 of an inch above it, just to kind of leave a little bit of leeway there. I don't like cutting right up to the knot. Whew. Anytime you use glue, you have a little bit of fumes, and same thing here. Just cut that off. Oops. And there you go. Then your little knot is right there. It's not even that big, but yet you still won't see it. And I think that came out really pretty. I'm gonna try it on. As you can see, it's a really pretty bracelet. Nice little statement piece with a little nod here to the times. But, you know, and the nice thing is if it spins around, it looks beautiful from all angles. I'm really happy with this. I'm very pleased with it. And if you'd like more information about this item or items to make this, as always, check down in the description box. But I thank you guys for being here with me today. I hope you had as much fun as I did. And I hope this gives you some ideas and some stuff you can put together. And have a great day, guys. Bye.